Nordstrom is finally gone. They're not coming back. It's just one of the many retailers that finally got fed up with the whole San Francisco situation. They can't take it anymore. Nobody can. I don't blame these retailers. And what's even scarier about this is these big retailers, they leave. Shareholders are still raking in pretty good cash from other locations. What really sucks is going to be the small mom and pop stores that will be leaving as well. So San Francisco's most famous and biggest mall is going to be good old Westfield Mall, right? If you put the little Google guide down, I'll even show you a video later on the video. It's like this really, really nice place. This is kind of like, Union Square. This is kind of like the plaza. This is like where all the tourists gather. When you go to San Francisco, you have to visit this place. Amazing, very good looking architecture. Okay, you also have a lot of tech employees. Twitter is located here, Uber is located here, Lyft is located here. So you have like a string of tech companies, but recently a lot of these stores have closed. Union Square is basically a ghost town, which is like a shame, right? This is supposed to be a place where it commands the highest real estate respect, the highest retailer street cred. If you want to be a big retailer or if you're like a designer store, you want to open your store in Union Square. Look at that massive hotel here. It's foreclosed. It's closed. It's gone. They don't even know what to do with this because nobody even wants this building. It's basically worthless. I mean, tourism in San Francisco is dead. Crime is at an all-time high. Shoplifting is at an all-time high. And of course, people doing fentanyl and crack is at an all-time high. You can't even go through a street without smelling urine or seeing at least a few pieces of actual human poop. Check this out. Nordstrom is now finally leaving San Francisco. They closed after more than 3 decades. San Francisco has always been very weird in the past 3 decades. I mean, they've always had the Tenderloin district as like this open air drug market for some reason. They never fixed it at all. Like the Tenderloin, it's like a really good area in San Francisco. I mean, it's pretty close to downtown. It's in the middle. You're right next to the Civic Center. Like location is pretty hot, but you also have like a massive drug scene in the Tenderloin district, which they've never fixed for decades. And people were cool with it because it was really just reserved in the Tenderloin district, whereas most parts of San Francisco are pretty good. But of course, of the pandemic and no office workers coming back, and of course, of the whole defund the police situation, criminals have been getting very ballsy with shoplifting, robberies, and theft. So bad to the point that Whole Foods has left. And I don't know what they did, but even Amazon Go has left. I mean, imagine a city so bad that even the Amazon Go has to shut down. That's San Francisco for you. And here it is. Nordstrom San Francisco, they're now gone. They're closed. And if you check out like Market Street right here, Union Square, you do have this YouTuber here, which will probably show you guys some of the really crazy scenes. It's a foreign YouTuber. I think she's from China, visiting San Francisco. Look at all of these empty retail stores. These are not bad retail stores. This is not the trenches, guys. This is the good part of town where these stores are supposed to be easily rented out. In fact, let me rephrase that. These stores are supposed to be getting bidding wars. In fact, before the pandemic, San Francisco's vacancy rate was less than 1%. Now it's at 35%, with the latest report saying that projections by the end of the year will be 40 to 50% vacancies. That's like almost half of all the stores are vacant. And this is also a very iconic infographic charts. You see Whole Foods has left, Crate and Barrel, Old Navy. These are all really, really big brick and mortar stores. When these stores leave, small mom and pop stores also shut down because foot traffic is basically non-existent. And by the way, so nobody's going here, all the stores are left. What's going to happen in the future? Well, this place is actually like a pretty big open air drug market now. And this is why Nordstrom's like, it's time to leave after 3 decades. It's very eerie, right? You have all of the places in Nordstrom completely sectioned off. It's empty. The clothes are gone. Shelves are empty. It's a very eerie vibe. It's kind of weird too. I mean, look at Nordstrom and also Westfield Mall. This is what it looks like now. There's barely any merchandise. There's pretty much no people. There's still a couple shops open. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these stores will be closing. And basically, Nordstrom is finally closed down. It's very sad. All the mannequins are packed up. Just a few shoes on display, but basically all the merchandise is now gone. Nordstrom, when they leave, they're probably never coming back. And this is the same thing with so many other big box retail stores. Whole Foods, Crate and Barrel, Williams Sonoma, a lot of these guys, when they pack up and leave, they don't come back anymore. They know that coming back will cost a lot of money. Here's the reason why big boys like Nordstrom shuts down their flagship store and Nordstrom Rack. And they own massive amounts of real estate in San Francisco. They pretty much rented like a good 300,000 to 400,000 square feet of pure high-end retail space. That is now vacant. Nobody will ever buy that building when Nordstrom leaves because there's not another big guy like Nordstrom that's going to come in and take that spot. And Nordstrom definitely 100% hired data analysts. They hired economists to come to the location, survey the area and the political situation in the next few years. They made the decision that the city is probably unrecoverable and they have finally packed up the bags and left. These companies, if they know the city will recover within the next 1 to 3 years, they would not leave. Leaving also costs millions of dollars. This is why a lot of other cities, during the pandemic they closed down, but a lot of those stores, they didn't want to leave because they know everything's going to return back to normal. But the whole San Francisco situation and the whole political scene, they can't seem to make their mind up about whether or not to be strict on crime or not strict on crime. They're just so indecisive that a lot of these stores are just leaving. Okay, seems like San Francisco just doesn't value businesses, but at the same time, they really like to tax the crap out of you. And if you look at this, Nordstrom is also going to be taking out almost 400 jobs as well because crime is so heavy in San Francisco. I don't blame Nordstrom. I don't blame Crate and Barrel. I don't blame Old Navy for leaving. They probably got like a ton of shoplifting. They just can't survive in this store environment. I mean, look at a lot of these stores. They're all closing. They're all vacant. Okay, these are high-end retail stores. A, B, C, D, E. These are probably like A class or at least B class like storefronts. These are good storefronts. They're not like the trashy storefronts. And you're going to be seeing a lot of these storefronts just pretty much closing down. And sure, IKEA is coming in, but it's like one store coming in and like 15 other stores leaving. And this is why vacancies are so high in San Francisco. And like I said before, what about the real estate situation? What's going to happen to like Westfield Mall? What's going to happen to Nordstrom Rack's building? These are all massive malls that were constructed specifically for big retailers. They weren't made for hotels or residential. It's just a massive open area. And what's going to happen is nobody's going to rent these spaces. Okay, nobody's ever going to come back. It's just going to be completely empty. Here's the thing about the whole San Francisco situation. A lot of these retailers will be crawling and begging to come back if the street conditions just improve a little bit. You don't have to be perfect. Just improve it a little bit. And I guarantee you, a lot of these tech guys and finance bros will all come crawling back.